A couple of mornings ago, I left to go to work and I was driving down the road. I realized I left my phone at home, which I couldn't care less about my phone, but normally Mrs. River calls me on my way to work and I've got a pretty long commute. So I didn't want her worrying when she couldn't get a hold of me. So I thought, okay, when I get to work, I'll just log into Facebook and go into Messenger, send her a message, hey, I forgot my phone. All right, so I got to work and I went to log into Facebook. All right, remembered my username, password, but it wanted two-step identification. All right, my username and password isn't enough now. All right, it wanted to send me a text to my phone, and then they put in the code, and then it can be sure it's me, except for I didn't have my phone. Okay, well, they had another option that I could send an email to the email that I had with them. Okay, so I selected that option, and then I went to log into my email, and they had two-step identification. Okay, they wanted to send a code to my phone that I did not have. All right, well, it's not like they could send the second identification method to my email since I was trying to log into my email, but they did have another option, which is basically they wanted to verify in Windows that it was me. They reactivate my accounts where it sent me to. But okay, so I'm trying to log into my Windows account, and since I didn't have my phone and it didn't recognize the computer, it wanted me to answer a bunch of questions that only I would know, except for there were a lot of really stupid questions there that I just had no clue as to answer to, like what was the last email I sent, who did I send it to, and what was the exact title of the email or the subject. I don't know. Okay, so I skipped over the stuff I didn't know, filled in the things I did. And at the end, Microsoft determined that I didn't know enough about me to be able to prove that I'm me. All right, so finally it hit me. Okay, I can just send Mrs. River an email through my work email. So I just happened to have her email address there because I don't remember her work email address, and shot her email. All right, that's just insane though. Just trying to log into Facebook or my personal email account. Right, and it occurred to me that's just the direction technology is going in. It's becoming ever more complicated. And the reason it's becoming ever more complicated is basically there's just so many crooks out there now. In which I remember when personal computers first showed up, I was in on it pretty early on. I used computers a lot myself at work on my job, and have for a long time now. Okay, and to start with, computers were just the greatest thing ever. Right? And that was before the internet. Then the internet comes along and look, we can access stuff all over the world, which there weren't that many websites then, and more and more and more started showing up, and it was pretty great for a while there. As a matter of fact, I'm going to say 2005 to 2010. I'm going to say to 2015 maybe. That's probably the golden age of the internet. All right, and it's over. Okay, because now the internet search is horrible now. Way back in the day, even though there were fewer sites, it was much easier to find what you were looking for if you were looking for something obscure. Okay, so you want to know what the particular thread size is on a nut on a 1967 Chevrolet. All right, you type in rear differential 1967 Chevrolet, and you're going to find something, even if you have to go into a forum somewhere, and it's going to tell you absolutely every detail of whatever you want to know. Somebody knows it. Now, if you've got something obscure that you're trying to find, good luck. All right, because you type in 1967 rear differential Chevrolet now, and there's just no telling what you're going to get. You're probably going to get 5 pages of ads for brand new Chevrolets for sale right now, or Fords, or whatever brand. And then you might find what you're looking for on an older car, just because that is such a common thing. But just depending on what you're looking for, if it's obscure, good luck. And the information's out there, it's just good luck finding it. Okay, well, the search engines became all about let's make money. I guess, I don't really know what happened to them. I've heard different things. I need to research that. But it's basically, they're all about making money now. They want ads. They want the companies that are going to pay them to put their rankings ahead of everybody else. And then there's their just sheer ignorance of the people working for the search engine companies now. Google, Microsoft, you name it. They've got idiots working for them that don't know anything about anything except for computers. I remember having an argument with a person, a particular type of software I use at work a lot. They made a change to it. The change was absolutely horrible and it's making life difficult. So I had to call their support line to get a hold of a programmer to find out, okay, how do I deal with this? And the answer was you can't. And I remember the programmer just being so tickled. She was just absolutely excited that this feature was added because it added certain options to the software. All right, she was just completely clueless to the fact that it made that particular software just useless for someone like me in the field using it. That was just completely lost on her. That I don't want to spend 3 weeks trying to figure this out to get it to do something that the old software did in 30 minutes. All right, well, that's what's happening right now with everything technological wise. Everything's becoming overly complex and the whole thing's about ready to collapse. All right, I went by the bank. This was yesterday. I was going to withdraw a few dollars from the ATM. It wouldn't let me withdraw any cash. It said that would cause me to exceed my limit for withdrawals. Except for I hadn't withdrawn any money from it. And I checked the app because yesterday I did have my phone with me. Checked the app. Look, there hadn't been any fraudulent withdrawals in the ATM. And I hadn't made any that day. Do they have a limit for the month now that they just started that I don't know about? Anyway, and it was just an inconvenience. But back to the whole thing's just becoming overly complicated. And when things become overly complicated systems, they break. They cease to work. That's what happened in 2008 with the great financial crisis. The system had become overly complicated. Too many people were trying to figure out how to cheat the system. Okay, well, that's where we're at now. And think about this in terms of just how many things are controlled by computers now. Throughout the country, throughout the world, but here in the U.S. Utility companies, first responders, military, down the list. Mom and pop store down the street, if the power's not on, you can't buy anything from there because their cash register, it doesn't work anymore because it's electronic. The barcode reader doesn't read it. Used to, if the power went out, you could still go by anywhere and buy stuff as long as you could see, as long as there's enough light to see inside the store. All right, because the cash registers were mechanical. And everything had a price tag on it, and the person checking you out said to, and then you handed them cash, and they gave you your change, and you left. It's not that way anymore. Okay, and not only are things overly complicated now, they're not as good. I guess that's the part that's getting me. I remember when everything started digitizing, and I thought, okay, this is great. I remember the first ATMs. Oh, this is convenient. Just, I can come by right now and get cash. Okay, except for they were hitting us all up with a fee to do that. A fee that I wouldn't want to guess how many billions of dollars the banks are making off of us now. That every major company out there, retailer, has that fee built into their price so that we don't even see it anymore. But if you still have a sign up that says if you use your debit card or credit card, you're going to pay a 3% convenience fee or something. Well, that's because the banks are charging every retailer 3% on use of that card when you use that card. Okay, so all the big retailers, they've just already upped the price of everything 3%. So whether you pay cash or not, you're paying the fee. How much money is that costing all of us a year and back? So the whole thing's becoming overly complex. All right, so I don't think I'm the only one that sees this. The question is, what do we do about it? And honestly, I can't see anything we can do about it. I mean, we can make sure we've got cash on hand. Luckily, I did have enough cash on hand here at the house to take care of what I needed to take care of, what I needed the cash from the ATM for, which I'm building a house right now. I'm going through some cash. Okay, so yeah, I need to go talk to my bank. What's going on with this? And obviously, I need to get a lot more cash to keep here at the house now. But yeah, there's just not a whole lot many of us can do. And this is the one thing I keep coming back to, seeing. I don't want to be all doom and gloom here, which I feel like that's the direction I'm going in. Just, I'm seeing issues in every direction I look in. Okay, and I really hope it's not me just becoming a pessimist. But right now, the only thing I can think of is plant a garden. Plant a vegetable garden and have some food on hand. That's where I keep coming to. No matter what direction I look, no matter how I think, okay, what do we do? How do we fight this? How do we fix it? And anyway, that's all I got now, plant a garden. Okay, I'm sorry that wasn't very insightful, or I'm guessing very helpful either. It's just where I'm at the moment right now. I'm confused. Okay, and that's something that never happened in the past. In the past, I always had a very good sense of where things are going and how things were going to play out at a local level, at national level, international, as far as the economy and just so many things. I have no clue now. Okay, and so maybe I'm just becoming paranoid because I'm looking around and I'm seeing the potential for some very, very serious problems everywhere I look. But I don't think this is just me being paranoid. Okay, and I know I don't deal well with change. All right, but there's a reason for it. I've seen a lot of changes in the past, and most of them were bad. Not all of them by any means. Okay, but so many. I'm looking at the U.S. right now, and the country looks like it's about ready to fall apart. Most of you that keep up the channel, you know I'm working on a house right now, and I've been talking to other people, a lot of other people, and builders and carpenters and so forth, just amongst all that I've got going on. And I've had a lot of them telling me about how contractors are building houses now. Okay, and I've got a neighborhood mile and a half up the road from me. Every house in that neighborhood is just constructed horribly. Guys that were working on those houses were telling me about it. And what they're doing now, and it's within code. All right, so this is legal. They're building the houses, they're throwing up the walls, stick-built homes. But as far as the external sheeting, they're not even using OSB anymore. They're just putting OSB on the corners, and then they're using styrofoam sheeting on the walls and then putting up vinyl over that. And charging a lot of money for these houses. Those aren't houses. I don't know what those are, but they aren't houses. I mean, how long is that going to last? And the thing is, most people have no clues. Everything now has become a facade. All right, we see the nice, pretty, shiny exterior, but then the interior is just what matters, the structure. It's rotten, rotten to the core, and I'm seeing it everywhere in our institutions. Am I being paranoid for not trusting our institutions after the events of the past 4 years? Be it our government, our judiciary, our medical establishment, any of it. Okay, no, I don't think I'm being paranoid at all. And I've thought, okay, well, what are some options here for what's the best way? What's the best way for me to position myself in case, all right, we have another 2008 financial collapse or something like that? That this time the government can't just step in and give the banks trillions of taxpayer dollars because the government's already very close to being bankrupt at, I think, $35 trillion in debt now, which is just a number that's just, that is such a huge number, we just can't even conceptualize that number. It's almost meaningless as such a large number. Buy gold. Who are you going to sell it to if the bottom falls out of the economy? I mean, seriously. It's only worth what someone's going to pay you for it. Okay, and all of us are going to be broke. The few people that actually have some money, they're not going to pay you fair market value for that. See, Bitcoin. All right. Did you just not hear everything I just said about technology and the technology trap that we're not even walking into it. We're just building it for ourselves around us. We're surrounding ourselves with the trap. Okay, I know a lot of you think Bitcoin's safe and it's secure. Do you honestly not think that the government has a means of seizing your Bitcoin if they want to? I mean, seriously. Okay, and I don't think that's just me being paranoid about the government. The fact that so many of you think you need Bitcoin to protect yourself from the government and Federal Reserve just printing up too much money and inflation and everything else, well, you don't trust them either. So why would you not think that they have a means of seizing your Bitcoin assets if they so decide to? Anyway, the only answer I got right now is plant a garden. And I guess that's going to be my message for the next however many years until I finally feel secure enough that I don't feel like I have to plant a garden. I'm just going to plant one then because I like planting gardens. We've got to have food. There's no way around that one. Okay, so if the bottom falls out, if there's no money in circulation and we're all just poor, and the money's just ended up in the hands of a few very rich people, like during the Great Depression, or if the government decides they're going to inflate away our debt, which is what they're going to do. There's no way around that one. All right, so prices at the grocery store just go up to where we can afford groceries. All right, buying food's going to take every dime we have. All right, what few assets we have now, we're going to be getting rid of those. We're going to be trading those for food, essentially. All right, there's no way around that when we've got to have food. And I know a lot of you are familiar with the WEF, the World Economic Forum, and Klaus Schwab, his famous statement, you're going to own nothing and be happy. Something I've thought about, I don't think that was a threat from him. I think that's just where it's going. That was more of a prediction from him. Okay, because that is the direction things are going. Most of us are going to end up owning nothing, and hopefully we will be happy. It's a very scary thought for me. All right, well, food prices get out of reach and we don't have any money, then we're going to end up owning nothing because, again, that's an inelastic demand. We've got to have it. All right, the only way we're going to be able to protect ourselves from that one is if we can produce it. And, again, maybe this is just me being paranoid, but I am paranoid at the moment. I'm as nervous as a long-tailed cat surrounded by rocking chairs. And I think I've got reason to be. All right, anyway, I hope you found that interesting, and please plant a garden. God bless and have a great day.